Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, where we'll be discussing topics and events that we're most passionate about. In today's podcast, we talk about how to make yourself instantly desirable and how to increase self confidence. We hope you enjoy this podcast.
Let's go. Sorry, let me concentrate.
Bro.
5 years
Cut.
later. Go on.
All right, let's just
Oh, maybe you're keeping this in, yeah. I don't care. This is staying. Alright, go on, Jan. Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry.
What was that?
Welcome to today's episode. I am joined here with your lovely and regular host. I'm going to keep going. Welcome to the Thinkable podcast. I'm here with your regular two co-hosts, Harminder and Hardy. Harminder and Hardy, how are you guys doing?
Doing great.
It feels like not so long ago I was on this podcast, but in reality it was a very long time ago. I'm back again, by the way. My name is Johan. I'm also known as the Love Doctor. And I was formerly on this episode talking about
the impact of dating apps on relationships.
The impact of dating apps on relationships.
Just to help you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a good episode. And today we're talking about how can you make yourself instantly desirable. And we're coming at it from a male perspective since we're three males. But we're happy to listen to your comments from the opposite gender and taking them into account at a later stage and comment how you feel about what we've said here today and if you disagree or agree. So you guys, let's just get straight to it, actually. Hardy, how do you make yourself so desirable, Hardy? Like, that's what
bro. I was going to ask you the same thing.
The thing is, I'm taking notes right now, so I'm being serious. Like,
okay.
Guys, have notepads out. Please take them out.
Okay, you're gonna put me on the spot like that, yeah? All right, cool. So guys, take notes, right? So the way to make yourself instantly desirable is to basically be like Johan, basically, right?
What?
That's it.
It's nice, obviously, for you to come to our podcast as well. So we've used the time stone to bring you back to the future. So we're really happy to have you.
It's, as you can tell, I'm just messing around on my soundboard, but I am now fully listening. I'm back here thanks to the time stone. I heard that.
Yes. So we want to talk about a big deal in society where a lot of people in general do feel quite insecure, and these are things that you may not realize you have, or these are things that you do know you have, but you have no idea how to overcome them. And we want to just address some of the things and some of the similar themes that we see people have in today's society, whether that's feeling lonely, not feeling comfortable in your own skin, or not fitting in. And these are the issues that I think all three of us have faced as well in our past.
Yeah.
And we want to just draw from our experiences and relate to how we felt in the past and what were the things that we did to overcome those issues.
So
obviously this podcast was inspired by some recent events that Hardy's experienced in terms of himself and in terms of
Wait, what?
Johan, what's going on? Wait, what's happening?
He set you up.
No, basically, so let me take you from here. So basically, what happened was and I told you guys this as well. Like, I was speaking to someone recently, and it was after a very long time that I've spoken. Actually, you do speak to people day to day, and everyone has insecurities. Everyone does, in some shape or form. Some people may have more insecurities than others. Some people, actually, there might be some people that don't have insecurities, but at a time in their life, some time in their life, they must have had insecurities. It's just, bound to happen because this is the kind of society we live in. And, so recently I was kind of, I spoke to someone and, I was talking to them about like some of the insecurities they had And it just made me think, like, the way they were feeling about having these insecurities, and just how they felt about themselves. They felt like how Minda said, like they felt very, like, oh, not worthy of, being able to find a partner, and this can apply to girls as well. Like, but obviously we're talking as guys because we have our own perspectives, but this can apply to girls as well. Like, everyone's had times in their lives where they've felt like, I've had a time in my life especially where I felt like I'm never going to get anyone. I feel like I'm not good enough to even have a girlfriend. Like, this is me just coming out, then I felt like that before. And so, it's just like insecurities, like, oh, why this person tell me, oh yeah, why can't, girls, hold a conversation with me? Why do they just seem so like disinterested in me, or they show no interest? They don't hold conversations with me. What about me is like, where am I going wrong, kind of thing? And the self-pity that you doubt yourself and all of that, like, it's not good. It's not healthy at all. Because those are the traits that kind of lead to, like, people kind of overthinking, and then overthinking leads to, like, certain like mental, like, disabilities and like health issues and stuff. And so I would highly, like, recommend not going down that path. But some people can't help but to, because there's a lot of people that are actively experiencing these things. So, they are in the situation. And so, that person said to me, he's like, oh, I was like, look, I told that person, I was like, I've been in a situation before. I understand what you're going through and like how you feel, because I've felt like that before. And that person was like, no, you don't, because, for you, it's very easy to talk to girls, and you've had a lot of interaction with the girls in your life, so you probably don't understand where I'm coming from. Like, it's a lot easier for you than it is for me. And that part specifically really made me think that, yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. Like, I may be comfortable speaking to girls, but that wasn't always the case. And there was a time when I was also, shy to speak to girls. I had confidence issues for the longest time in my life, and I had to overcome them. Again, like Aminda said, I really had to learn how to overcome them and try to get past them, and try to figure out like what it is about me that I do like, rather than like, oh yeah, I don't like this about me, I don't like that about me, oh yeah, what if this person thinks this way of me? Or I always used to like question myself. Like, if I ever went to like a social gathering, I would like, oh, how would people perceive me, like my dress sense, am I wearing the right kind of clothes? So this weird stuff like that. That's, you growing up, you think like that. So I guess you just have to kind of really have to learn to work on yourself. I think what my approach to it was to work on myself, and how I went about like trying to get rid of my like, conscious feeling of like, oh yeah, I'm not good enough or whatever. I was like, how will I be good enough? What can I do to be good enough? Then I was like, yeah, I should start hitting the gym. I was really skinny back in the day. I was quite skinny back in the day. I was like, I need to start working out and to like, try to get myself to a decent body, not just for myself, but just like generally, like just to, just feel better. And, people like, girls, if you're talking about like in terms of guys, like girls obviously find you more attractive, better body, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't just for that, there's a lot of reasons for it. But like for me, working out makes me feel a lot more confident. So then that kind of takes away the, whatever issues I did have, or I felt, I looked a certain way or whatever, I felt weak. I didn't feel that anymore when I started working out, having a nice dress sense. Like nowadays, girls appreciate guys who can dress well, not just guys, like even guys appreciate, girls who dress well as well. Like it's it works both ways. And so like dress sense, looking after yourself, like, and I think all three of us can agree, like girls make a lot of effort generally, like, girls generally make a lot of effort. And I feel like maybe guys don't have to make as much effort as girls do, in terms of like getting ready and, looking really good and stuff. So I feel like as guys, we can make effort too. And now this is obviously this is definitely applying just to guys now. I feel like we can make effort too from our side. We can, smell nice, we can dress nice, we can look sharp, make sure we always have a nice nice trim, nice haircut, nice beard, whatever, and just try to present yourself in the best way possible. And that way you will eventually liking how you look yourself, and you start to love yourself, and then eventually that will come across to everyone else.
What you're saying is, to make yourself instantly desirable, you need to change yourself aesthetically, is what you're saying so far. Is that
aesthetically
right?
Initially aesthetically,
okay.
And then that's the first step, because everyone says, oh yeah, go for personality.
I'm writing this down, by the way. I'm on
No,
2 A4 sheets back to back now.
Bro, now you're the master of all these things, bro. Come on. But yeah, so a lot of people nowadays, everyone's like, oh yeah, I look for personality. I look for, I only look for personality. I'll go for personality. No, you don't. I'm sorry. Everyone has so many choices, right? Nowadays, for example, a girl, let's say she's got 5 guys DMing her in 1 hour, in the space of 1 hour, right? She's obviously got a choice. How do you, if you want to have any chance of getting a response from that girl, how do you make yourself stand out? And obviously with DMs, she can't really see how you look aesthetically, but again, just that's obviously, then it goes to how you carry yourself and your personality, and again, having a confidence kind of demeanor, and carrying yourself with confidence, and talking to everyone confidence, and just being yourself, I think, is very important as well, because that is also something that people appreciate. It's very easy to kind of figure out if someone's not being themselves in a social environment, and so just don't try to avoid it.
So this friend that reached out to you, what is he having issues with?
He's just having issues with finding a girl.
Yeah, I know, but what do you think he's having issues with? The girls are everywhere. You walk outside, 50% of the population are women. What do you think he's struggling with?
The social interaction.
I think it's the fact that I would say that he needs a lot more confidence.
But even then, what do you think his confidence is being broken from? Where do you think? Why?
The way he looks, I think.
The way he looks?
I think.
You think? What does he do, out of curiosity?
I don't know. He works, but a
rough field.
Accountant, I think.
Okay. So man makes bank. That's already in. That's what was my thing. The first question is what makes you instantly desirable? Money. End of question. No.
No, the thing is, he is a nice guy. But what he's saying is the girls don't give him a chance.
Yeah, but no one who says he's a nice guy is a nice guy. I mean,
I've known him
going I'm a nice guy. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy, but I'm just saying if you're a nice guy, you don't need to say you're a nice guy. I think if his issue really is finding someone, and I mean dating someone, I would tell, if I was speaking to him right now, I would tell him to just open up his horizons a bit more, because honestly doesn't sound like he's really looking, because anything, and I mean absolutely anything, is attainable if you're willing to put the time and effort in it. And I mean, this is exactly the same as the podcast we had on internet dating. If you put time and effort into Tinder, you can have 10 dates in the space of a week. You can have scheduled dates on the same days, but you need to spend time and to put effort into it. It's like finding a new job. Now, to some people, it's going to be easier for other people based on their experience. It's basically like finding a job when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
But if there's something underlying that's kind of preventing him from moving on, what do you think that could be? Or is it Is it because he's just so uncertain or so unconfident with dating?
Yeah, so he has tried the dating apps.
And when you say he's tried, he's gone on, he's matched, and he's not had a date.
Yeah. No, because and this is the thing he said. He's like, oh, he matches with a few girls here and there, and then he'll speak to them. But this is how he describes it. Some girls who'll speak to for like 2-3 weeks, and they'll have a nice conversation for 2-3 weeks, and then after that just completely stop replying. Or some girls, who message them and they just won't reply at all.
Oh, well, that's classic. Second scenario is classic. First scenario, I would say. First scenario, I would just say straight up. If you're talking to someone for 2-3 weeks and you've not met up, that's like, if you think about like a text conversation is about an hour, maybe less, 30 minutes. And that's what you've spoken to them every day for 2-3 weeks. You're looking at least almost like a day of conversation. Yeah. And if you haven't met up after a day of conversation, that's a lot of time to be talking to someone that you haven't even met.
Yeah. Which is, I think, is good advice.
I think it stems from confidence, really.
Again, that's what I'm trying to say. So how do you tell someone who's again got issues with confidence that's affecting probably how he talks to them, or asking them, he's probably scared that, I don't know this, he hasn't told me this, but I'm just assuming now here, and then this, it's not just him, this applies to a lot of people that again are kind of scared to like ask the people that they like or have a crush on, or they want to ask someone on a date, but they don't know how they're going to respond to that. They just avoid doing it and just stay single for all their life. Like, how do you tell someone who's got those confidence like barriers to kind of overcome those barriers?
Can I be completely honest? Acknowledge that you've hit rock bottom, and by that I mean he should acknowledge that his lack of experience is a superpower. It means that he has a free pass to do what he wants. So the next time he comes into contact with someone, he shouldn't be scared to ask them out, purely on the basis that there's no repercussion whatsoever. There's none. If it's either going to result in him talking to them for 2 weeks, them not replying, or them saying no, or option number 4, they say yes and they go on a date with him. There's absolutely nothing wrong with failure. Failure is not a bad thing. It's when you stop trying, that's when the bad thing happens. That's when you've given up. It's when you've reached a point where you're not even going to attempt, that you hit that point, and that's when real failure takes on suit. He needs to acknowledge that he's hit rock bottom, and he needs to take it as a blessing in disguise, as a free pass to do whatever the hell he wants. I'll be honest with you guys. I'll open up deep. This is everyone. Fasten your seatbelts. This is going to get deep territory right now. Deep into my backstory. I never really had much of a father figure growing up. And when I started to have girl issues of my own, I am surrounded in a family of women, and they are absolutely lovely, and they're my whole world. My sisters and my mother, but they didn't teach me how to shave. They didn't teach me how to ask a girl out. They didn't teach me how to fix up computers or fix a car or fix a bike. They did teach me how to like wallpaper and plaster a wall. I'll give them that. But the point is I kind of had to teach myself these things. But I came to a point when I was having relationship problems where I hit complete rock bottom, and I took that as a chance to kind of reinvent myself. And the Haman is going to love this, but the people that really resonated with me was YouTube influencers, people such as Alpha M, shout out to Alpha M in the comments, who kind of taught me how to groom myself as a man. That's something I had no idea. I didn't know that your belt is supposed to match your Was your belt was not supposed to match your shoes?
Yeah,
I didn't know you had some moisture.
Oh my god! Oh, there's only one. Oh my god, that's crazy. I picked up on that one as well. Did not know that was a thing. As soon as I heard about that, I completely started adopting it. It makes such a big difference.
It does make it's so good. Like honestly,
such a sick
I didn't, like my mom used to tell me to wear like a t-shirt under my shirt, to kind of do things, and I didn't really listen to her. And then Alpha M started saying like, well, if you wear it, it kind of absorbs the sweat and it keeps you clean, keeps you fresh. And there's all these kind of like things that you just don't really learn. And the benefit to some of these lifestyle channels is they'll also give you advice. And a lot of it has to do with confidence. And a lot of it is either you feel good in yourself or you feel good in how you look. But basically what you want to try and do is make yourself feel good, and once you reach that stage, make yourself look like how you feel on the inside. And something as simple as changing like hair product, like conditioning your hair. There's one thing that I learned very, very early on, and this is just me as a preference for me, and I think it kind of resonated with me earlier, but still I would still recommend the best. And this is, do you remember Kyujin Hardy?
Oh my god, yes, I remember him.
Oh, shout out to
Kyujin.
He's listening. He asked me once, he was like, what's the best thing I could do that could like kind of increase like my date percentage or whatever.
Yes.
And I was like, nothing, you're amazing as it is. Kyujin is amazing. I hope you're all right, buddy. I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, you need to message me as well, Kyujin. You haven't heard from me in a while as well. Just casually having a conversation.
He's actually just listening to this convo. But I told him, I said, like, honestly, the best thing, like, if there's one thing that you want to focus on, and this is not even me being a player. This is just me being kind of like a clean freak. But the best thing
you being a player, but yeah. Go on.
No. The best thing you can do is have good oral hygiene. There is nothing worse. There's nothing worse than you meeting up with a girl who is amazing, she's gorgeous, she's a complete 10, and she's just eaten goat's cheese. One of my ex-girlfriends ate goat's cheese before our date. We did not have another date after that. No, this is true. This is facts. But my point is nothing worse. And I'm sure any girls listening to this podcast right now will tell you 100%. There's nothing. I mean, you can wear all the Axe body spray that you want in the world, but if your breath tastes like garlic pizza bread, you are not going any further on this date. You're not. And honestly, people who take care of their teeth live longer, are happier, and make sure to floss like twice. Make sure to floss once a day. I know it's annoying. I know it's really inconvenient, but it's actually really good for your gum health. And you know what? If a simple change like that can increase your a simple change like that is beneficial to your own health and will increase your desirability to other people, it's a no-brainer. I mean, you brush your teeth anyways, just spend more time doing it. And this goes to everyone in the world. Even if you want friends, you don't want your kid going to school. You don't want your kid going to school and being renowned in the class as being the smelly kid. Do you know what I mean? You never want to. We've all had the smelly kid in school before. You can be the nicest, funniest, smartest person, but my boy, if you smell like BO, like, no one's sitting next to you. Wash your clothes.
I think moving on from like an aesthetic perspective, I think one of the things that you can do that can go beyond, okay, say you are like dressing nice and you're doing.
I thought hygiene's important. That's number one. Everything else is okay.
And like after hygiene is done and you've basically looking after yourself, a person can still feel like just as bad as themselves. I think in the past, for me, I remember when I was going through like a tough time when I was about 17.
Lads, yeah.
And I remember at school, I was pretty much hated by everyone at school. Didn't have many friends or anything. And, I dressed really nice and stuff. That wasn't an issue. Hygiene was fine. Just I wasn't fitting in with people. And I thought, well, I'm feeling pretty shit about things. And, I don't like the people I'm with at the moment. Why don't I just like do activities that go beyond like people I see at school? Like what if I just join like do sports or something? And I think one of the things for me that helped build my confidence is up. I joined like a local badminton like team, like activity a week, like club, and that was like a really good thing for me because I met new people. For at the time, it was like the first time I really like kind of spoke to people that weren't my age, and I spoke to people who were older and stuff, and like you get to learn like different perspectives of people as well, which is quite important. And like going to like a badminton club for like a couple of years, I really like started to become more confident in myself, and just like you need to have that perspective of you need to get rid of that mindset of thinking, because the view most people have of the world is very limited. Like you don't know the world out there unless you see it. So if you see the world for how little it is, then you will treat it to how little it is.
Yeah.
You will start to see things in a little way. If you start to like broaden your horizons, you'll probably see the world at a bigger place. Like so many people. Something I could say.
100%. And also like surrounding yourself with friends as well. It's very important. Sometimes like when you're having these thoughts, like you'll keep drowning in them till someone tells you to snap the F out of it, like someone needs to tell you like, yo, you just snap out, like, and again, I can relate to this because I've had those moments with, I've had those moments with Johan in uni. I've had those times with Hominder, like, bro, I'm feeling this way about this thing, or whatever it is. They're like, yo, just snap out, you got this, man. Why are you stressing so much? Like, just calm down. Like, you just need someone to kind of just get you out of that, you're deep, like get you out of the sunken place,
yeah
like get you're like for all those who understand that reference, high five. But yeah, so like you need like you do need to like kind of try to just kind of speak to people when you're feeling down, and 9 out of 10 times they will help you kind of just snap out of it, because a lot of time it's just your thought process that's affecting you. And so I think surrounding yourself with good friends is very important as well.
I completely agree. I still stand by embracing your mistakes and sort of embracing where you're at in life.
You have to, bro. Otherwise you can't move on from them.
As a jumping off point, like you said, like with everything that happened at university, and sometimes you just got to take it as a chance to reinvent yourself. I'm, strangely enough, one of my first proper girlfriends. I'm actually, really thankful that she broke up with me. And I'm thankful because everything good that has happened up until this point has spurred from that one moment, because I realized I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with who I was. And it didn't like, I make it sound like it was an overnight change. It wasn't. I started by flossing. No, I'm joking. I started by hanging out with my friends. You're absolutely right. I started choosing better people to be around. And by better people, I mean just surrounding myself with people that I enjoyed the company of and wanted to get to know better. And in that vein, I started to realize what was important to me, and that was just enough. And that something as small as that can kind of push you on to better things. You've just got to acknowledge when you've hit the rock bottom bit. I mean, you can keep going further down. You can keep digging down, but you've got to realize that the best part about hitting rock bottom is there is absolutely nowhere else to go but up. Like any news at that point is going to be good news.
Good news.
You could walk outside and someone puts like a pizza coupon and like 50% off at Domino's through your postbox. That's good news.
That's me.
That's great news. But you got to treat situations a bit differently, and you gotta seize opportunities when you see them, and you gotta understand what is a risk and what isn't a risk. And in this instance, to your friend Hardy, I would tell him that unless he really likes talking to people for a long time, I would tell him, go on the date, ask them out on the date. You know, a lot of people, the first thing they ask is like, how long should I wait before I go on a date with someone? And there's no exact answer. It really depends on the flow of conversation. But that comes from learning from your own mistakes. So if you ask too early, someone's going to say no. If you ask too late, someone's going to say no. But all people are different. And I really like what you said about surrounding yourself with good people. I think that's really, really important. Remember that we as human beings are social. We're not built to be completely isolated. And get someone to snap your head out of it, and just embrace the fact that you've got nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, and two more key areas that I would want to go over. One is don't compare yourself with other people. I've done that a lot. Trust me. Again, all these things I'm talking about, I've done all of them. Like I've been through, you know, the lowest of lowest phases. Like, I've had girls break. So if I've been in relationships, I've had girls break up with me, right? In a normal situation, like
unheard of. What?
What do you mean?
Are you partying? Who am I talking to?
Nah, bro, it has happened, right? Like I've had girls break up with me, and in that situation, it is true. Oh, Johan, shut up! Just shut up. And at that time, right, you think like, oh shit, where did I go wrong? You question yourself, you doubt yourself, like, oh shit, like, am I not good enough? Am I not good enough? You keep thinking that, you think that. And I've been made to feel, like, I felt that so many times, bro, but I was just like, yo, I'm not good enough, man. Like, and then, so then obviously next time I'm trying to, like, obviously speak to someone, whatever, I'll try to be different. And I guess that's how I've kind of grown in a lot of ways. I've become more mature. I've become a lot more like, okay, I know not to do this, and I know definitely to do this, or, you know, what to look for, what not to look for, and just stuff like that, right? But I have been there many times where I've been made to feel like I'm not good enough, basically, right? And when you're at that spot, when you're feeling like that, like, you know, it's not good to kind of like compare yourself to like other people that are in relationships and that are like, you know, you might have a best friend that's been with this girlfriend for like 3-4 years or something, and then you end up comparing, like, oh, he's been with her for so long, like, why can't I get that kind of thing? And you know, so then you would think, oh yeah, she might have found someone better. Again, you're comparing like yourself to someone else. You just don't do that. Like, you know, in terms of like this is for people that have, like, you know, confidence issues, or like, you know, whatever stuff that holds them back or whatever. Like, just don't compare yourself to other people. Not even for someone that's just had a breakup.
Sorry, I think you can kind of flip that on his head. I think you can compare yourself to people if you use it as someone you can be influenced by. If you see someone like, you know,
good influence, good influence.
If you see someone who's maybe, you know, really good socially and stuff, you try to, you know, what are the things that he's doing that I could do? Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like. I'm not sure, John. Have you seen 13 Reasons Why?
I have.
Do you remember? Was it Jeff Hardy character?
Yes, Jeff.
So,
I like Jeff, bro.
Yeah, like there was a character called Jeff, and he was like this like typical like jock in the school, and like he was the popular guy and
the most likable guy.
And he became friends with, you know, the main character Clay, and Clay was seen as a nerd and no one really liked, no one really knew him, but, you know, he was a smart guy, and obviously Jeff wasn't the smartest guy, so he asked Clay for help, and they became really good friends. And, you know, from then they built like a good relationship, like solid, like friendship. Like, yes. They kind of got to know each other. That's like a good influence to have on someone. Like, 100%. You know, it's just, you know, not everyone who's popular is a horrible person. Like, there's a lot of nice people out there who are popular. Like, maybe try to understand their actions, or if it's like a physical aesthetic thing, you know, if someone's really big at the gym, just go ask about what do you do at the gym? Like, you know, what sort of foods do you take, and how do you, you know, what sort of things did you take to, what are the steps that you take to get big and strong? Yeah,
I cannot agree more. I think that's the best way to start, is actually just reach out, and even to a complete stranger like that.
I've done that before.
I've done it before as well.
I went to a gym. I saw this guy. Like, I saw this guy. This is again when I started working out, when I was back in sixth form or first year of uni. and I was really, really like, I was starting like on 5 kgs and stuff. I was really like skinny and weak and stuff. And I went to this guy and he was in front of me, and he looked like he was like 20 or something, so like 1 or 2 years older than me at the time. And I told him, I went up to him and said, yo, like, he was shorter than me, but he was quite bulky. I went up to him and said, yo, I was like, I hope you don't mind me asking, like, how did you get like that? And then he said, told me, he's like, I do this, I do that, like, this and that. Use your own body weight for exercises, you get more shredded. I was like, okay, well, in terms of what did you eat? And because at that point, I only used to eat twice a day, right? And I was like, how many times do you eat and stuff? He's like, I eat 5 times a day. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, you need to work out enough so that, your body gets used to like having like 5 meals a day or whatever. And they don't have to be like huge, like large meals. Like it's just like, like decent amount each time. But yeah, you keep feeding your body like constantly throughout the day and blah, blah, blah. And so I really took notice of that, and I took that into consideration. And then I got to a point where I started eating 5 times a day. And so it's just like, yeah, always like, don't be afraid to kind of reach out for help.
I think, yeah, and I think it can extend beyond just what we've been saying so far. I think it can extend into even like a passion of yours. So if you really like, if you really love art or making music, or you always want to play the instrument, just do it. There's no, I mean, you got to think that everyone started somewhere, and you're never too old to start something. The only time you're too old to do something is when you're dead. Really. Yeah. If you think about it,
true.
You can't. Yeah.
Definitely, like helping my confidence is basically like I got to learn an instrument.
Doing things you enjoy. Doing things I've always huge confidence boost. Huge confidence.
Even for me, like learning it, I learned an instrument second year of uni from scratch, and in my third year, guitar. And
I didn't know you play guitar.
He does, yeah. He plays quite good as well.
We should jam together.
Next podcast is a singing podcast.
We'll do the intro.
Yeah. Yeah, like a year later, like I was performing in front of 300 people.
That's amazing.
You just cut out, hello?
Hello?
No, I heard him.
Yeah, so
okay.
A year later, I was performing in front of 300 people. Like,
that's amazing.
I pushed myself out there. I wasn't very confident. I was frightened. I couldn't show my friends like how I play, let alone complete strangers. And that's something that definitely helped my confidence a lot. Like just pushing yourself out there. Like tiny little things that you need to do.
Tiny little things.
My entire life, like I've never properly fought anyone, just because I've never been in that kind of situation before. And it's only in the last couple of months where I told myself I wanted to take up boxing, and anyone who knows me will start laughing immediately. But I want. Wow. There's the cue. Thank you. I'll be here all night, guys. Typical actresses.
Do you have the meme, the laughing meme?
Yeah. Well, let me get the laughing meme.
It's like anyone who knows me will instantly start laughing.
This is how I feel. Okay. But basically, I've been doing boxing for a little while. Absolutely love it. Become in love with the sport just by doing it. I watch boxing all the time now, and I've started sparring. And initially, I was absolutely horrible, and now I'm getting to a spot where I'm getting better. I don't rate myself, but I'm definitely better than when I first started. So that's
progress.
Exactly. And it was scary for me because you're getting punched in the face, and I've never been punched in the face, so it's weird. And then someone's yelling at you in the corner saying, keep your eyes open when you're being punched in the face. And you're like, I'm being punched in the face. How am I supposed to keep my eyes open if it's fucking knuckles in my like iris? And it's difficult, but I really put myself out there. And I know that you guys all had like Hamindo with his electric guitar and Hardy with UFC.
It's true.
You put yourself out there, and you do look like an idiot. You do look like an idiot when you first start, and everyone around you will be like, "This is not this is not good," and you're like, "Of course it's not good. I've just started." But then, as you go on, people don't get to see your little progress, and that's quite common now. Like bringing it back all the way back to our social media podcast, but. The social media, people show the bits that they want you to see. So they want you to see the bits where they've perfected it, but they don't want to show you the bits where you've literally spent 8 hours.
Years.
Yeah, I've been punching a bag for maybe a total of like a month of just punching a bag with the same punch over and over and over and over and over again. And it's mind numbing. It would be terrible to watch, but now I've reached a point where it's not bad. And now I have a danger zone. So don't try to rob me here, or don't try to start a fight with me in club. Don't pay for my drink in the club, because I will knock you out.
Don't pay.
I will
I need to pay
for you.
Drinks, it's fine.
No. You won't. You don't have enough time to do a headlock on me. Like I'll grab Harminder's guitar and smash it across your head.
No, it's true. Like, you know what? And for me, again, it's the MMA, right? It really, really helped me gain so much confidence. And it's not the fact that, I know how to fight now. It's not that at all. It's not. That's not the
little bit.
Okay, maybe like 5%. But it's more the fact that I'm doing something I enjoy. And bro, trust me, I would go in.
It's a skill.
I got punched in the face so many times. Like, and obviously MMA is like a lot of like tackling and stuff. Like, I had this massive, huge, like 6'5", like 200 pounds, massive guy like tackling me, and I have to figure out a way to like avoid that tackle and tackle him and bring him to like a submission and get a grapple on him. How do I do that? It's happened to me. He would, and then the trainer would be like, "Okay, go easy, but not too easy. Like, make sure your opponent feels pain." I look at this massive guy, and he's my partner. I'm like, "Oh, fuck!" I'm like, "Fuck!" And you see him running at me. I'm like, "Shit!" He just brings me down to the floor, and my back just hits the ground. I'm like, "Fuck!" And then he tries to like get me in like a headlock or whatever, and he ends up punching me, and I'm bleeding. And I come home, and I'm literally bleeding so much. And my mom's like, "Okay, you stop. You're not doing this anymore." And I'm like, "No, I want to do this." And then the next day, I went for like 2 weeks, and then I finally managed to get that same partner, and I managed to out tackle him and get him on a headlock. And when I did that, like I was literally like, my teacher started clapping, but that person's like twice the height of me, three times the size of me, like so it makes you feel good. And the reason why we're saying all this, like doing things you enjoy, is because firstly it gives you a lot of confidence, but secondly,
it could be anything.
People find that really attractive, believe it or not. Like, people are attracted to people that do things that they enjoy. Like, believe me, like if you were to meet Johan or Harminder randomly, like on tube or something, out of nowhere, like I'm sure they will have so much to say to you. Like, "Oh, I've got a YouTube channel, do podcasts, or I'm a singer, or I'm do guitar or whatever. Johan's a boxer, whatever. Johan does a lot of things. Like, people will find that attractive. That the fact that you take out time to do things that you enjoy, it shows that you're passionate. It shows that you like take time out for yourself, and that you're focused on yourself. Which shows like determination, it shows resilience, shows a lot of things. And again, all of that overall increases your how attractive people find you. And so that again then increases your desirability. Like, the whole like idea of the podcast is how to make yourself more desirable. And am I wrong or right in saying that, guys? Like,
yeah, definitely.
No, you're absolutely right. It's
definitely like you want to like even for me when I started like playing guitar and stuff. Prior to that, I don't think I had really much anything interesting to say on the table.
To say exactly, what do you say?
Like when I started playing guitar, a lot of people started talking to me. Like, I got a lot more attention from girls and guys as well, weirdly enough. But
alright, bro, we don't want to know about the guys, bro. That's another podcast.
No. Yeah, I got girl attention and just overall.
Jeez, check you out, man.
Just like I never did it for like girls and stuff, and people think,
yeah. Okay.
Girls, my guitarist like singers. It's difference. Learn that the hard way, but but
Hey, you want to come check out my guitar at home? Oh, do you sing
Nah.
as well? No, I don't sing. Nah, okay, fine. I'm not interested.
I'm
Don't care.
interested. Here's some cool sounds though. You might be interested in that, but
Massive L, man. That's a
it's-
huge L.
I think people are more attracted to something that you're very passionate about. That's the.
Yes.
If you could talk about something like, say, you guys talk about MMA and boxing like passionately, then why wouldn't someone be interested? You know, shit, that's quite cool. Like,
Yeah.
There's something that's good. I like that. Like, you can really vibe with someone because it's the same energies.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, and it's just, I think fundamentally all the purpose of doing skill. Obviously, you shouldn't take up a skill if you want to be with someone. You should take up a skill if it makes you
If
happy.
it makes you happy. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just the sheer action of being happy and actioning things that make you happy, that makes you more attractive. Because when you're around someone who's smiling, when you're around someone who's funny, when you're around someone who's generally positive, you want to vibe off that. You want to like anyone else.
And you want to spend more time with them, right?
Yeah, you don't want to surround yourself with someone who's negative. You don't want to surround themselves with someone who's crying. I mean, of course, if your friends cry, you support them and you help them through it. The whole point is you're trying to get them back to a state of happiness. But you don't actively choose to be around people who are sad and upset. You subconsciously, everyone does, chooses to be around good people who
Make them feel
maintain happiness. And yeah, they make you feel good with their own happiness.
Exactly.
And it's one of those things that has like a multiplier effect in that if there's loads of happy people in a room, everyone's like even more happy. Yeah. So it's as dumb as it is. I would tell your friend, if he's unhappy with how things are going right now, and I think this is something that we talked about just before this podcast, is if you can't see someone, if you can't understand why someone doesn't love you, you need to think about why you love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, and you don't need to be like in love with yourself, like nobody is. Everyone's trying to work on themselves. Everyone here on this call is trying to work on themselves. On this podcast, sorry. If you don't, how can you expect someone to love you if you don't love yourself? That's the gist of it.
Well said.
No.
Well, really.
And I'm
well
not
said.
talking about masturbation. I'm talking about like genuinely you like yourself, and nobody in the world like wakes up every morning and goes like, I am absolutely amazing, except for the writers of Game of Thrones. They they wake up and they think, how can I make myself better than I was yesterday? And unknowingly, they start to like things about themselves. So like, Harminder starts off from not knowing guitar, and then it becomes one of his things where he's like, oh shit, Harminder is a guitarist, and that's something that he likes about himself. He likes the guitar, and it's now become part of himself. So it's easier to be around someone who likes himself and is generally happy than it is to be around someone who is unhappy with the way things are. And by the way, like, this transcends across everything. So anything
even in relationships. This applies to relationships too.
Yeah, it transcends across everything. So if something as simple as like buying gel to style your hair helps, makes your day start. Like, I know me, when I get up in the morning, people laugh because like I take a while to do my hair. Like I blow dry my hair, I'll condition my hair and apply. Sometimes I'll apply hairspray if I have to, if it's long enough. But if I leave my house, if I leave my house knowing my hair is terrible, I'm not gonna have a good day.
Yeah, no.
So
Same.
I spend some time and I do it. And even then, when I come out, I'm not happy with it. I'll put a hat on. But the point is, like, I know what makes me happy and what doesn't. I know if I walk out of my house looking like absolute crap, I am not going to be happy. I'm going to be annoyed at myself. I don't want anyone to see me. So, yeah. Cha-ching. I have a friend who a friend from high school. I'll keep it nameless. Hopefully, he's not listening to this. Where he hasn't been on any dates, and he doesn't look like he's gonna date anyone in the future, and I feel like his confidence has been really shot down. He has a lot going for him, and he doesn't even realize his own potential as a person. He's one of those people who's like brilliantly smart, but doesn't really take care of himself. Like everything from his dress sense to what he eats to exercise. And he's not particularly overweight. He's actually, like, in high school he was quite in good shape. Like, he's a very prominent rower. But I tell him, like, it's really this, like, he used to make fun of me when I used to do my hair, and I was like, I tell him it's like the small things that matter most. It's like stuff like, you know, discovering that you look better with a belt that matches your shoes. And but it's also stuff like,
I'm still trying to process that, by the way.
do you know, it's one of those mind fucks, because it does work. Like Hardy, I swear to God, I bought a new pair of crabs, and they're blue and they've got like a white base, and I bought myself a blue and white belt. Like it is life.
Yeah. When you match your, especially wearing a suit as well, when you're wearing brown shoes, you have to have a brown belt.
Yeah.
When it's black shoes, even these things, even my father never taught me these things as well. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
My dad never taught me about the same belt.
It's not even known. It's not even known.
It's one of those things, like a lot of things that are not taught by your friends or families. It's actually taught by experts. You know, these are kind of like hidden things you have to like look into. If you're really serious about change as well.
Also, Alpha M has a really brilliant video on how to roll back your sleeves. I've seen that. I've used that as well. And he does it. And you've just been doing it wrong your whole life.
Yeah.
Buddy, how do you roll back your sleeves on a shirt?
I'll just roll them back.
No. You take the what do you call it? The wrist bit. What's the wrist bit? The sleeve. You take the sleeve. You pull it back all the way to about like just below your elbow, and then you fold that in, and it's 3 folds, and he does it so perfectly. And the best part is,
so it looks neat, basically. It
looks neat, and then if you pull it out, your shirt isn't creased. It's amazing. Honestly, I'm telling you, this guy's my dad. He's my dad. Yeah. Male grooming, very important. But that's not my point. Back to my friend. He needs to go back into his rowing. He needs to, like, we used to play this very popular video game together, and apparently there was a society at university that was dedicated to that video game, and he didn't go. And I would ask him, I'd be like, why don't you go? You clearly love this game. And there's a group of like-minded individuals that are dedicated to this game. And he's like, yeah, but what if I'm not good at better than everyone? And I was like, that's not the point. You know, you could be terrible. You could be absolutely horrible. But this is a group of people who like the same things that you do, and they're going to offer you a new experience. That's the problem. He didn't want anything new. He didn't want to learn anything. He wanted people to accept the fact that he was an expert at something. Accept your flaws. Realize, let's break this down. Accept your flaws. Realize you've hit rock bottom, and realize there's nowhere to go but up. And make sure your belt matches your shoes, and floss every day. Instantly desirable. Boom. Mark drop.
All right then. Should we wrap things up then? I think we have.
Yeah.
I think we have wrapped. Joe has wrapped them up.
Wow.
I think the steps that we've taken from this podcast, to summarize them, definitely from an aesthetic perspective, like, you know, do things that to work on yourself. You know, if you don't have any hobbies, that's fine. Maybe work on things that, you know, if you need to get in shape, try to get in shape. Just try and lead a healthier lifestyle. So that means, you know, changing your diet, try something new, you know. And from there, maybe, you know, try some new hobbies, do things that you usually won't be able to do, and from there you can meet new people. And even there, like maybe like start talking to people, start comparing yourself to people. Like, I want to be like just like that guy. Don't see it as a negative, see it as a positive. Try to see in a way, look, if that guy's really good looking, what is he wearing? Like, what sort of brands is he wearing? Oh, maybe I should look into that brand. Maybe that could fit me. Or, what sort of things that he's doing with other people I should be doing too. Is he being like very open about himself? Is his body language very positive? Maybe I should incorporate these things. And like you just have to like take it step by step and know it's a very long process. And it's not something easy. And like people can look at us and say, "Oh, look at you guys! Oh, you guys do podcasts and blah blah blah." Like, it wasn't this easy when we started. Like, you can ask us. Like, it took me and Hardy like a month to even consider doing this. Like, the amount of talks we had, like anxiety building up, even doing our first episode was crazy. Like, again, me and him had no experience of it. Johnny had experience before doing it, but me and Hardy had nothing, like not a single clue on how to even like respond to these like questions or any of these topics. And from there, you just have to like take it step by step, and don't listen to criticism too much. Just try to keep on continuing, keep on improving, and from there, you'll definitely be able to get rid of any doubts that you have of yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Being happy, again, doing things that you love will make you happy. Being around good people, again, making you happy. It's just all kind of all of these things you're just basically kind of putting in order to put yourself in a better place to come across a lot more approachable, come across a lot more relatable, a lot more kind of I want to speak to this person, and someone that people would actually want to speak to, rather than I don't want to speak to that person, they have nothing to talk about. And all of these things make you, be more attractive. And we do live in a day, and as much as it, everyone would kind of say it's controversial, whatever, as much as people don't want to believe it, we do live in a day and age where a lot of things are judged by the way they look. Unfortunately, people can deny us as much as they want. Everyone out there deny as much as you want. No, I'll look for personality. You only look for someone's personality once you like how they look. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, like that's how it works. Like, you only kind of give someone a chance to prove themselves. Like, again, I was telling you, like my friend, like I was speaking to and stuff, he's a nice guy, but he's saying, no one's really giving him a chance to get to know the real him. No one's liking him for who he is, kind of thing. And
who is
whatever
he?
Like,
that's the real question.
And so it's unfortunately is that. So that's those are the things you have to kind of keep in mind and go about things, considering like what Johan said about flossing and stuff. But yeah, like the whole flossing thing.
Oh, I had thrusting. Sorry.
Yeah, why are you always thinking dirty, man? Flipping out.
I don't know. I want to just chime in here. I've always had people that come up to me and go like, "Oh, I don't have any passion or skills or anything." That's absolutely fine. Your passion in life is money. In that instance, make money. Like, honestly, like it. People are like, "Oh, money won't bring you happiness." That's not true. Money will bring you happiness. I'm not joking. I've seen people who have been sad and rich, and people who have been sad and poor. And I tell you, being sad and rich is so much better than being sad and poor. 100% guaranteed. So if you don't like anything, if you're not into football, if you're not into video games, if you're not into music, not into fitness, work on your career, make yourself super successful, have lots of money, and focus on that.
And that way, what's that famous quote? Don't chase the people, chase success. And then when you chase success, people will chase you.
Chase a chick, never chase a bitch.
Hey. But yeah, I hope this has been of some help to everyone listening, and I hope you guys have had a fun time listening to this. This was a very interesting topic. It is something that is relevant to a lot of people in this day and age. That's why we thought it was good to kind of go over this topic, and I really enjoyed talking about all the things we spoke about. And I just want to tell everyone, just be happy. As simple as that. And anything you guys want to say?
Yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Maybe let us know if you've if you're going to try to incorporate any of the tips that we've provided, we'd love to hear some stories. So feel free.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Feel free to DM any of us. We'd appreciate that. But yeah, cool.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
Johan, it was amazing having you on the podcast.
No worries.
Thank you for joining us.
Sing the outro music.
And if you have made it this far, then
now we're gonna talk about bonus content. Let's talk about last podcast episode. If you made it to this far, what did you guys think about episode 7 of Game of Thrones? Man, that was insane.
My god!
Oh man, yeah.
John comes back from the wall, makes the Iron Throne with his bare hands, kills Bran, actually pushes Bran off the tower.
Bran, he's definitely gonna be Bran the Broken after that.
Captain America comes back.
Bran the Broken Claw.
Bran the Broken Plot. Oh shit.
It's gonna turn into Three-Eyed Drogon and stuff.
Three-Eyed Drogon.
Guys, the podcast this needs to end now.
Thank you anyway for reaching this far. I hope you've enjoyed that bunch.
End credit.
And we'll reach you the next episode. Cool.
All right.
Bye.
Until next episode, guys. See ya. Bye.